What's going on, everybody? Dylan Napoleone with Cageside Press, joined today by an amateur welterweight getting ready for LFA 204 here in Connecticut. This is Melvin Jovel fighting out of here at Teixeira MMA in Connecticut. Melvin, how are you, bro?
Doing well, brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to be here. Great to be here for our first interview together. You and I have crossed paths quite a few times, but never done an interview, so thank you.
Of course. My pleasure.
Mine too, man. I'm excited to be here. Like I said, today we're 1 week away from weigh-ins for your next fight at LFA 204. Your first time fighting here in Connecticut too, your home state where you live, right? Yep. So how exciting is this whole deal, fighting in front of, I assume, a bunch of support there that night?
I'm really excited. I'm excited to be close to home, not have to travel so much for the fight, as well as having the gym that's going to be supporting me and Hian, who is also going to be fighting on the card. I'm also excited to be fighting for LFA. This is going to be my third time. It's an amazing organization, a great show, and I'm looking forward to showcasing my skills.
It's a good point, man. You get to share the card with Ryan or Hian in Portuguese there. I always get that mixed up, man. I always say Ryan, but then I remember my man is, Brazilian, so I got to say Hian, but that'll be fun, man. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing the card. Having Glover and Usry in our corners as well is going to be good. Again, being close to home, having the gym who's always asking to be able to come watch the fights, but a lot of the times I fight very far. Usually it's in Niagara Falls or something, and a lot of guys can't make it out, so I'm excited.
And you bring another great point, Melvin. This is the first time that LFA is actually coming to Connecticut. So I myself am very excited as like a journalist who's been around you guys for quite a while. Not just this gym. There's other gyms, in the state that have some fighters on the card too that I've been around quite a bit. For me, it's a very exciting thing. What do you think, the overall importance is of LFA finally coming to this part of the country?
I think that there's a lot of talent in Connecticut. My boy Quentin out there at FAA, very good friends with him, looking forward for him fighting as well, coming back. I'm looking forward to that. I think there's a lot of great talent here, and it's awesome that LFA is expanding and bringing the organization here to Connecticut and showcasing some of the talent out here.
Now, Melvin, for you, this is the first fight of 2025. It's the first fight back since, last October, right? Yeah. So how do you feel, man? It's been a couple months. I know you've been in the gym working hard. You've been traveling the country with Alex and stuff like that, still working hard. What have the past couple months been like for you?
Honestly, the last fight I did was for LFA as well. It was my first career loss. I was on a 4-fight win streak. I was hot. And then I had some personal issues. I didn't really train for that last fight. I'll be honest with you. I did one sparring session. Then the week of the fight, Glover was like, I don't think you should be taking this fight. I think you should be pulling out of this fight. You don't look good. You don't look sharp. You haven't been training. And in my head, I was like, hey, I'm training with Alex Pereira all the time. Glover Teixeira is my coach. I'm at such a great gym. And I kind of got caught in that delusion of thinking that just being around these big names was enough, but I wasn't doing the work. And what's frustrating about that is that if I would have just stuck to the program, I would have just stuck to what Glover has us do, I would have won that fight easily. But, I got complacent. I was traveling a lot, and I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and I paid for it. But honestly, that was the best thing that could have happened to me, because if I would have won that fight, I would have gone pro with that same mentality of, I don't need to train so much, So it made me hungrier. I've been training amazing. I feel great. I'm strong. So I'm really looking forward to showcasing my skills this upcoming fight. And, I'm back on track, better than I've ever been. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Respect, man. An honest guy like you right there, that's just straight honesty right there is very respectable. I can only imagine a lot of lessons were learned from that. And what are some of the things that now you won't make that mistake again? But also, Melvin, I want to bring up this point. It's your amateur career, right? This is the time where you get to make those mistakes and you learn from them. So like you said, probably the best case scenario to happen, in your amateur career, right?
Yeah, no, it was the best thing that could have happened is that it happened during the amateurs. Obviously, I don't like losing. Even more so, I've said a lot after that fight that I would have rather gotten knocked out or submitted or lost to a guy that was much better than me. And all due respect to my opponent, he was a strong opponent. He really wanted it, but he wasn't a better fighter than I was. And to lose to someone who I know wasn't better than me is very frustrating. But again, that's what the amateurs are for. That's why we step into that cage a couple of times before we make our professional debuts, before we start our professional careers, just to see, okay, what does work, what doesn't work. And, for me, it doesn't work to not train and just step into a fight like that unprepared, So yeah,
That's a valuable lesson, man. If there's a lesson that you're going to learn in your amateur career, that's probably one of the best lessons, right? Let's talk about this fight, of course, too. March 22nd, weigh-ins a week from today. Up there in Foxwoods here in Connecticut, taking on Gates Cook. The matchup, I think, was announced, yesterday, right? So tell me, have you had a chance to look at his fights? You guys are pretty similarly experienced and stuff like that. What do you know about your opponent?
Yeah, he's 4-2. He's got a lot of finishes in the first round by guillotine. He's 6'4". He's a lengthy striker. He's got pretty good striking. The 2 fights that he's lost through wrestling. So his jiu-jitsu's not really there. His wrestling's not really there. I think I'm going to be faster than him. I think that I'm just going to apply pressure, get on the inside, and he's going to have a hard time. But I'm also understanding that he's a dangerous opponent, so I'm focused on just making sure that I go in there prepared for everything, prepared to use all my skill sets, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Now, in the grand scheme of things, what do you think is like the most exciting factor about this fight for you, Melvin?
I think the most exciting factor is that, to be honest with you, he's teammates with the guy that I fought in August. He has the same coach and everything like that. So I think in my head, what I think he thinks is like, all right, I've seen this guy fight. My teammates fought him. His coach is probably telling him, this is a fight we could win. I've seen him fight already. So he's trying to get revenge for his teammate, So on that end, he's going to come in with a little more urgency. Is going to come in with a little more, I want to get this one back for the team. But for me, the most exciting thing is honestly, like I said, getting back on track, showcasing what it is like to be part of this team and what it means to actually be following the program and showcasing the skills and the hard work that we put into this gym every single day.
Absolutely, man. That's a great answer. Now, I was going to ask you next about, according to my notes, lessons in your amateur career, but I think we covered that, man. You did a great job of telling me a little bit about, what you learned in that last fight. Now, I want to ask you, you mentioned it before, had you won that last fight, it seemed like you said you were going to turn pro. So now I wanted to ask you, what are the discussions now about turning pro?
Alex has been on me about it. He's like, it's time to go. It's time to run. It's time to go pro. Glover is a little more, pragmatic about how he thinks about it. So he's like, hey, if you pass this test with flying colors, there's no reason why you can't go pro. But I'm just fully focused on this fight right now. I'm not looking ahead too much. I don't want to get in my own way. So I'm looking forward to putting on a show, and then we'll see what happens after.
100%. Now, given the fact that, if you go pro, it will probably be this year maybe, right? Yeah. So what are, if anything, maybe it's just get this victory and see what happens after that, but are there any things that you would like to accomplish before your amateur career is over?
I'd like to just continue to train with my training partners, do some more training with Kuram, who's a judo black belt. He's from Georgia, an amazing wrestler, amazing grappler. I'd like to train more with Austin, continue developing my wrestling. I've been doing really good, been doing really well, and I'm making strides in that, and I look forward to continuing to develop my game all around.
Last couple questions for you, Melvin. I know you got it. Oh, you got one more. I got to go spar. All right, fair enough then. I want to ask you this, man. I'm going to leave this one for the last one. Is this. Some people, this is the first fight for you in Connecticut. Some people may have never seen you fight here in Connecticut. If those people are in attendance, they have never seen you fight, what can they expect from you on March 22nd at Foxwoods?
They can expect a guy that's going to go forward. They're going to expect someone with a lot of IQ. A lot of resilience, and at the end of the day, if it's a firefight, I'm gonna stick in the fire and we're gonna bang out and do what we gotta do. But I'm also a very smart fighter, so wherever the fight leads me, I go with the flow. I let the fight play out, and I'm gonna dictate the fight to the best of my ability. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna go out there looking for the win the entire time.
That's it, everybody. March 22nd, get up there to Foxwoods. Like I said earlier, I'm super excited for this fight, this card myself. If you're in attendance, you get to see Melvin Jovel out there. Could potentially be his last amateur fight, so you might want to see this one, guys. Melvin, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. And I just, last thing, I'd like to wish good luck to Hian, also to my boy Quentin that's going to be fighting on this card out of FAA, and all the boys out of Connecticut. Let's go put on a show and show them what the Connecticut talent pool looks like. Shama.
Let's go, baby. And I have to add one. Shama.